BAKUNAWA, the moon-eating dragon of Philippine mythology, believed to be the cause of eclipses, earthquakes, rains, and wind. This serpent-like dragon cast a huge shadow of Filipino culture to this very day. But how do you come to earn the nickname Moon Eater? Let's find out together, right now. According to Philippine mythology, a supreme being or god known as Bathala created 7 moons to illuminate the earth, one for each night of the week. Every evening, the moons would come out and light up the land, shining brightly and bringing joy and happiness to the people below. Enter the BAKUNAWA, this huge and imposing dragon, said by some to be a creature from the depths of the sea. It was a magnificent being, often described as a serpent with a mouth as wide as a lake, a red thumb, whiskers, gills, and a beautifully ornamented back. Was at once stricken by the beauty and radiance of the moons, becoming obsessed with their presence and determined to make them its own. Rising from the beneath the waters of the sea, the great beast coiled into the sky and began devouring the moons, consuming 6 out of 7, much to the dismay of the people of the earth. Each time the dragon swallowed the moon, the world was plunged into darkness. The ancient Filipinos, realizing the disappearance of the moons would lead to eternal night, were filled with fear and desperation. But they did not falter or wilt in the face of such monstrosity. Instead, all the people of the land relied together to drive the monsters away from their one remaining moon. To combat this calamity, the people sought to protect the remaining moon. They understood that the BAKUNAWA was enchanted by the moon's beauty, so they devised a plan to distract and scare the dragon away. Whenever an eclipse occurred, signaling the BAKUNAWA's attempt to swallow the last moon, the villagers would come together to make as much noise as possible. They began screaming, shouting, banging drums, making noise however they could. From the oldest to the youngest, the people united to create such a cacophony of noise as to drive the BAKUNAWA away. Moved by the people's determination to save the last moon, and perhaps startled by their clamor, the dragon approached the final moon. The deafening sound became too much even for such an imposing monster, and it hastily retreated back to its cavern, hiding away to await another opportunity to return and finish the job it had begun, dreaming only of swallowing the final moon that still shone brightly in the night sky. Becoming suddenly conscious of the disappearance of 6 of the moons, the almighty Bathala decided to act, planting bamboo across the surface of the remaining moon so as to deter the dragon. From afar, these bamboo appeared as dark stains in the moon. The deity Bathala decreed that the BAKUNAWA could no longer swallow the moons completely, allowing only for the partial eclipses, where the dragon can only nibble of the edges of the moon. This intervention ensured that the world will never be completely devoid of moonlight again. The BAKUNAWA was a determined foe, however, and it would never give up. From time to time, the dragon would return to claim its final prize, swallowing whole to the final moon for a brief, tantalizing moment before the shouts and cries would grow to an unbearable level from the ground beneath it, forcing the beast to spit out the moon before its task was complete and retreats once more back to its lair and safety. To this day, the endless watch continues. This myth remains a fascinating one. It highlights the importance of community and collective action in the face of adversity. Through this myth, the BAKUNAWA remains one of the most fascinating and revered creatures in the Philippine folklore, embodying the mysteries of cosmos and the depths of the sea. Just remember, next time you get a chance to watch an eclipse, make sure to keep a keen eye out for the dragon and raise your voice loudly to do your part in saving the moon.